Hello everybody, it's Edwina from Orchid. How are you? Today we are going to have a look at my Kanban system in my yearly stack. If you had a look, I had a quick look through this one and I use it as a Kanban book as opposed to a board. This isn't my idea. I've been watching Sarah Cannon from Heart Breathings for a good number of years, and it was her idea to put it into planning your goals for quarters and all of those sort of things. There are also a lot of other ways of planning your quarters or your goals for the year, etc. This is how I do it, but you could also look at the 12-week year. There's obviously Sarah Cannon with the Kanban boards and her heart breathing system. For me, I've been playing with this for about 18 months and I think I found a system that works for me. My advice to you would be to play, have a go. If you fancy the 12-week year, have a go at that. A Kanban board, whatever works, have a play, find out what works for you and then implement it. If you don't like planning on a quarterly, then don't. It's as simple as that. So both of these are Filofax notebooks, and they've got like a small ring bound. This one is an Expressions A5 and it's got a hard cover, and this one is a classic, and it's not a hard cover, it's a soft cover, but it's still fairly stiff. And the reason I like these sort of things, these notebooks, is because you could take a piece of paper out of the A5 and it will actually go onto the rings in the A4. The pocket will go into into either as well, or they do a tiny, like what's it called, a smart notebook. And again, all of the paper will fit on the rings because all the rings are the same size, so that's why I like using these. So let's find out, let's have a very quick look, and I'm not going to go into this in too much depth today, but if you want to have a look at exactly how I look at my year as a whole, then I can do another video on that. Just let me know. So in here I've got a couple of like quotes and various things, and I've started, I've got the school year for this year and next year, and then what I did is I printed off a calendar from Calopedia. And if anybody's been watching my videos for a while, you know I quite like these for calendars because they're free and you can print them off, and I'll link them below. Let's move you in a little bit. Okay. And so what I've done is I printed off this, which is the yearly calendar, where it's got every month and it's got the quarters on the top. And so on the side here I've put things like Writing Home, Minecraft, Orchid, Personal and Daisy. And then I've looked at the year and I've gone across and I've put on what I know is coming up. So for instance, I know for a fact that in November it'll be NaNoWriMo for writing, so therefore October is Preptober, so I've put those in. This last December gone, I didn't do a lot, so I've just put rest, you know, Christmas break, that sort of thing. I know for the home coming up to Christmas, those November, October are going to be cleaning and prepping and all of the Christmas prep, you know, that sort of thing. I know that during the summer Harry will be off school. You know, so I've put all of those sort of things in, the things that I know will happen. And I haven't used the numbers, I've just gone across. And then I've gone in and I've had another look and I thought, oh, I fancy doing that and I fancy doing that then and this then, and had a conversation with hubby and anybody, and sort of put all of those sort of things in as well. So what I've then done is I've taken the first quarter and I've moved it further forward, and another set of these printouts. So I've gone in and I've done January. Again, I've separated it into the sections of my life, and I've just written 3 things down for January that I want to do, and then I'm going to come in and do February and March afterwards. And then I've got these printed off, these monthly momentum planners, and I've put these in my Daisy Craft planner, and these are from a company called Productive Flourishing. Again, they're free. But what this does, it tells you quarter goals, monthly goals, events scheduled, and then it gives you 5 weeks, and it does that, and they're blank, so you can put whichever month you want in. And so I'm going to take the things that I looked at the beginning of the year, of things I want to do, things I'd like to do. I'm then going to come down into my month and say, right, this is what I want to do, these are the weeks that I potentially could do it. So that's the sort of the first sort of big project, big pebbles. And then come into my A5. Okay, speed you in there. Too far, sorry. Okay. This is great because, like I say, it's got a hard cover, it's got it's elasticated, and you can get the dividers to go with it. So how I've set this up is I've just put some scrap paper at the front. I've got a plastic folder, which I used a plastic folder and punched, because I've got the punch for the notebook as well. Put some nice pretty things in there. That's all of last year's things, which I've kept at the front. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And then I've put the dividers in. And on top of the dividers, and I do this for all of my Filofaxes or anything that has dividers, and then I use these. These are a Cathedral product, but they're basically sticky tabs. And I put one over and then I write on what it is. So like pink is home and red is social media. And then what you can do is, when you think, oh, well, I don't want to use this in this book for this purpose, that comes off and it just peels off. And you can use the divider. If you write on the divider, you can't reuse it. That's what I do anyway. So I've got a divider in here. I've got one at the front, which is sort of like my plan, and then I've got home, social media, Daisy Craft, my personal tab. I've got one for workshops, general projects one, and a writing one. And the general projects one is for anything that comes up throughout the year that I think, oh, I'd like to have a go at that. And so this is just going to be a list of projects that come up. So the first thing I do is I have a look at my projects out of the A4, and I've make a note of things that I want to do. And then I give myself an idea of what. So the first project would be declutter home and the bedroom. This is something that's come over from January that I'm looking at, but I know it's going to go into February and March, and I generally do 2, maybe 3, and I work them down in order. So come the beginning of the month, this is the one I'll be working on, this is the next one I'll be working on, and then this one, and they'll just keep going throughout the year. Okay, now my first thing I'm going to say is very simple. My quarters don't run January, February, March, April, May, June. They don't run that way. And the reason being, think of it this. Think of how you yourself work. During December is when you'll be thinking about next year's goals, next year's projects, next year's plans. I have 2 birthdays plus Christmas, lots of catching up with friends, try and do a lot of self-care, as all the Christmas parties and all that to go to, and then by Boxing Day I'm absolutely worn out and I need a rest. So the last thing I want to be doing is thinking about next year. So my quarters actually run February, March, April, June, July, August, September, October, November. No, that's not right. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Okay. So my first quarter is going to be the 1st of February. And it actually works out better for me because the way it works is I have the whole of January to think about the next year, what projects I want to do, and that sort of thing. And then the next break and the next start of the quarter is just after Easter or around the Easter holiday, so I've got that whole time to think and plan. And then the next one is just as the New Year's, the Christmas, not Christmas, what am I saying? School year is starting. Now if you're a teacher, you might want to start your year in September, because I know some teachers do that, because that's the start of the school year. So that might be your first quarter in September. And then all the way around. And I know for a fact that not much will get done in that last quarter of the year. So the way I start this, as I said, I have a look in my A4 book for any projects and things that I was planning on or I've looked at and want to work on. I also have a list in here, as I just showed you, of anything else that I want to be doing. And then I go through each section and I write out projects that I want to work on for each one. The thing is, if I've written out 3 projects for each section, the question is, which one do I work on first? Obviously I want to work on a project per section, so that would be 6 projects in a quarter. But how do I choose it? Now I actually use the life wheel out of the Miracle Morning, and they call it a level 10 life. Okay, and if you go on the website and all of that, he will show you how to fill these in. And this one is actually a circle. I've seen them as a barcode and that sort of thing as well. So I haven't done mine yet, because to me this is a very personal thing, and I didn't really want to show you exactly what my life wheel at the moment would look like. But this is a printed one. And what I've also I've used one of these and drawn it out. I have 12 sections on my wheel, and I did actually make a list to try and reduce it down to 8, but having had a thought about it and done a brainstorm on it, it actually ended up as 12 again. So my 12 sections are Daisycraft, my craft orchard, which is things like I would like to offer free printables and that sort of thing. Then there would be social media. The craft workshops and craft club that I've started this year would also be part of Daisycraft, but they're in 2 separate sections because that's online and this is physical face-to-face. I've then got my home, so that's 3. So Daisycraft, my craft orchard and home, and I've got one for writing, which is 4. So the other one is personal. Now I've split my personal down into different sections. So I've got 2 for Daisycraft, 2 for my craft orchard, 1 for home, 1 for writing. And for my personal ones, I've got friends and family, finance, spiritual, learning and improvement and that sort of thing. And I've also written down video content. So I'm sort of separating social media such as Pinterest and Instagram and that sort of thing, Facebook, and then I'm also separating out my videos. So there's 12 there, and I was thinking, oh, that's quite a lot, I thought. But then having done a bit more thought about it, it's actually one a month. So I could work on 5 projects, so 1 per section per month for a quarter. And then each month I could focus right down onto one section from my Wheel of Life. So those are my sections, which, if I actually show you this one, because this is a better one. So around the outside you would put your section, so I put home, family, daisy craft, that sort of thing around the outside like that. Okay, and then you give yourself a real good think, and there's 1 to 10 on there, and you think, right, okay, if 1 being really, really bad and 10 being really, really good and absolutely perfect life, where is that section do you feel you are? And I do this at the beginning of the quarter, so I'll do this in February. So if I put Daisycraft at the top, where on there would my Daisycraft business be? Where would my video contents be? Where would my relationships with my family and friends? Where's my home, finance, etc., etc., all the way around? From this is sort of like a snapshot of how I'm feeling at the beginning of the quarter. I would then choose the worst ones from the 5 areas of my life. So I'd choose the worst one from Daisycraft, etc. Home, writing and home are the same anyway, so I would choose projects for those. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to choose the very, very worst one, so the one that's as low, however low it is, and concentrate on that as a whole for the month. So February I will have a project for each section, and then I will focus on my very low one. So I've started drawing it out, not very good, I was a bit tired when I did that. So what I'm going to do, so what I've then done is I've written out declutter, do the airing cupboard, get control of home chores, tidy the garden, painting. Okay, and underneath I've then written for tidy garden, clear out broken unwanted stuff in the garden, make it a nice place to sit and spend time. And then I've put March, when the weather is better. So I know I'm not going to start that project until March because the weather in the UK is a bit rubbish. January, February. My January, which I'm filming this in, I'm still working on last year's project, which is what this big pile of stuff here that I took out earlier. So I then get my post-it notes, and this is how Sarah Cannon does hers. She writes everything down and then she uses post-it notes. Check out her videos, they are brilliant, and the way she explains all this is fantastic. So as you can see, I've got 6 different colours, and I will use a different colour for each element. So I'm looking at home, so obviously home is pink. So I've got my post-it notes and I've got my pen, and I'm just going to very quickly show you what it is that I do next. Okay. So the first one is declutter home, bedroom, empty the tubs and baskets and tubs so the room is tidy, give away clothes and stuff so there is more room to store things you want to keep and need. So that's my first project. So what I'm now going to break that down into various tasks. So just thinking about my bedroom, there's the underbed storage, that needs clearing out, so that's a task. And then let's say we empty, I can't spell, empty 1 tub per day. Okay. I'm going to put bedroom on there. So that empties the tub. I need to sort out the clothes. Okay, so first of all sort the clothes out into charity, giveaway, throwaway, that sort of thing, and then do a charity run. Okay, so you get the idea. You go through, you look at the project, you work out what task you need, you put a task on each sticky note. Then what I do is all of these sticky notes I actually put on the inside of this divider like this. And so for each of my section I'll have a whole pile of tasks to do at some point in the next 3 months. So the next question is, how is this? Do I look at this book every week? No, I don't. I look at the, yes, sorry, I do look at this book every week. I don't look at it every day. So how do I get this information off these sticky notes into my everyday system? Okay. So in comes my home planner. And there's 2 ways of doing this. This is my home planner, which is actually rings. And the reason I brought this in is to show you, if you are planning in rings, this is how you can do it. This is a credit card wallet. And I've put a piece of card in each one. And you can slip them out and you can take your post-it note and you can just stick it on there like that. And then put that into there as a reminder that that's what you're looking at, that's what you're needing to do. If you've got a cover such as these beautiful Moterms, you can actually take a card like that and you can slip it into there. Again, you can put your post-it note on there and utilise these pockets here. And in one of mine I've actually got a whole section. I've got home, a card with home, personal, daisy craft, and so each day, which I know when I'm on, I just pull that card out and go, oh yeah, that's today's task or this week's task for that element. Okay, so you could do that. In my planner that I'm using at the moment, which is this one, and there's a video on this, which is my Inomi planner, I've actually got a credit card holder which is for a personal Filofax rings size. And so as you can see, I've got things like setting up my goals, setting up a website, and again they're all different colours because green is personal, pink is home, I can't remember what orange was. Orange is my craft orchard, pink home again. Okay, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of personal things on there that needs to be done and a couple of home ones. And then that slips in there. So every day when I'm looking at my planner, I'm looking at that as well, so I can pull that out and go, oh yeah, that needs to be done and that needs to be done, and I can add it in to my day. I hope that helps. I hope that's an explanation of how I set this up. It's quite a long process. I find that I spend at least a week or a minimum of 4 days setting this up, and what I've actually done this week is every time that I've come across, so Monday's is writing day, I've had a look at my writing in this book. Tuesday's is home, so that's why I've filled out the home one, etc, etc, and I've spent the whole week going through each day and looking and focusing just on that element of my life. and then looking at what my yearly goals are and bringing them together. So the next step for me is to fill in my life and to just tweak and then create all of these lovely post-it note tasks. So we've looked at putting our tasks all on post-it notes, and then what we've done is we've had a look at this on a weekly basis, and we've put our post-it notes onto pieces of card in the front of our planners or in pockets and that sort of thing. The next stage is when you come to do your weekly review. We've done this task. So what do I do with that post-it note? So the first thing I do is I go back to my Kanban book and I turn to the front where we put our wheel of life. I've got this blue index, and as you've got all the index cards where I'm putting the tasks. I'm putting the tasks on this blue one, because there isn't a focus area behind it. That's where I'm going to put my done tasks. I normally start at the bottom. And you come into here every week and you go through the task cards out of your planner. I then also will go through and have a look on each of the tasks that are on all of the dividers and move them over to done, because naturally you will do things and you haven't put them in your everyday planner. You don't empty this until the end of your quarter. Now, I don't think I explained at the beginning of the video what the Kanban is. So let me do that now. The Kanban is, you take all of the tasks that need to be done. So you get a project, break it down into tasks, which is what I did here. So I've got my projects. I've then broken them down. Wrong one, sorry. Here's my tasks. I've then broken them down into tasks, which I've put onto individual cards or post-it notes or that sort of thing, and they all go in one section of the Kanban. The next section, so that's waiting for, yeah. Then the next section is the working on or in progress type bit. So this is my waiting for on the tab for my home. Then in my home journal, these are the tasks that I'm currently working on. The next section is then the completed column. And the completed column is where you see the progress. It's where all of the post-its, the cards, whatever it is you're using to track your tasks, ends up at the end of the quarter. So you have a physical thing that you can see of your progress. So when you come into here at the end of every week, and definitely every month, this is going to start filling up, and by the end of your quarter this is going to be full. And it really gives a sense of achievement of actually doing something. You know, you might be like this month, January, I've been really busy with all sorts of things, but the post-it notes, because they're not in here because I've took them out, I've put them somewhere else, have built up. For instance, these two here are actually January tasks. I've done those, so they're there, and I can say, well, you know what, I have actually achieved those. I've achieved, okay, so January I might have only achieved 3 things. I've achieved a lot more, but there, physically you can see that I've done those 3 things. So in that respect, it's a good visual representation of how productive you've been this last quarter. I hope that's a good explanation for my Kanban. I do. These are all things still need to be done. If you have any questions, leave them below. I will link the videos of Sarah Cannon so you can have a look at how she does things, which was my inspiration for this. And we'll see, shall we? We'll see how we go. Have a go and let me know how you get on, or if you like this, or if you just take elements, say the level 10 life, just take that element and do something with that, or the post-it note tasks or whatever. Just, you know, let me know what are you going to do, what do you fancy having a play with, as it were, because that's why I like planning and this sort of thing, because you can just have a play. Okay then, if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please make sure you subscribe. I do appreciate everybody who watches my videos. I've had a lot of new subscribers at the beginning of this year, so I'm very, very thankful for all of you being here and wanting to see what I'm up to. And I will see you next time. Bye.